So some people might be like, Hadi, this happened to me. It was really hard. And then X happened, Y happened. When I had when that space was available in my life, it allowed something else to come into it, but you need to have room for something else to come. So maybe that's what's happening right now. So just be patient, keep going, know yourself, remind yourself who you are, lean into your strengths. So like, I have a lot of people in my circle that have been really supportive. So I would say surround yourself with people that reflect who you are back to you, because that's so important. And ask for help when you need it. You're more than likely gonna need some help along the way. If you're one of those people that's been looking for work lately, chances are you're gonna need somebody to refer you, somebody to make an intro, somebody to you know, maybe just, teach you something you don't know, or give you some information that might help you in another conversation. And so ask for help. And I know that that could be hard for sometimes for people in certain communities because of this
Yeah.
notion of like, we're the first, we're the only, now we got to be everything, we got to be perfect. And it's like, well, how can we be perfect and then be asking for help at the same time? That sounds like contradictory, but we have to allow ourselves the space to be really good and excellent, and also know that we might still need help. Even if we're excellent, we still might need help to achieve the next thing that we want. And we need to know when to like pull the levers and say, okay, I've been doing a really good job, my performance is great, I feel really confident, and now I'm ready to pivot to something else. Who can help me to kind of like take that big step that I want to take next? And so yeah, those are some of the things that I think might be helpful.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. So like, I was recently laid off in January, and so every uh time around my birthday, and we were trying to book our interview, our first one, I had like a time block for March, right? So usually around my birthday, I take off like 2 weeks. And so I remember when I got laid off, I'm like, am I gonna take off 2 weeks? And I said, you know what? I need to, right? And so I think it's also important, a mistake that I made previously with being unemployed is I lost my identity and wrapped it around my job search, right? So then when I get a no, it hurts a lot more than it should. And so now I'm like, while I'm doing my job search, I'm like, I'm being very specific, but I'm also like making sure to, stay really true to myself. And like you said, right, like what are those routines, right? So, working out every day. I have a gratitude journal that I write in every day.
Nice.
I have affirmations that I do that are more spiritual, that aren't necessarily around my job search, because I feel like what's for me is for me and it's going to come.
Yes.
Um, Doing my podcast, right? Like, and the crazy thing is that I decided to actually bring back the podcast 3 days before I got laid off. And I actually
Wow.
found out the Saturday I was getting laid off before it was announced on Monday. So I was able to prepare, but I also kind of seen it coming because um, I look at a lot of economic data. Because one of the things I do is I trade on the side, so I have to always look at economic data. So I foresaw this happening like 6 months in advance, and so I was prepared, you know, eerily enough. So when it happened, it was almost like a big relief. Um, but there were things that I did to protect myself, right? And I remember when we were talking, we talked about was I really big in the fire movement or whatever, right? And I think it's very important for people to diversify your income or have some type of like long-term investment where, if you have to dig into it, you can. And I think a lot of, when you look at the state of the economy today, right, people, are have lost their income, right? Well, what is your backup plan, right? So I think that's also, I want to get your thoughts on that. Like, what are some things you've done, I guess, financially to kind of make yourself more secure, right? To be able to still be, who you are, right? And not
Yeah.
be super stressed over your job search.
Um, well, I was saving money for a house. So I had
Mm,
this little nest egg that I was like about to launch. I had just sent a note to a realtor and said, What's the first step I need to take?" And then I got laid off like 3 days later. So I was like, just kidding. I'll get back to you. And then that's the nest egg that I've been using And then, I got a severance package, so I put all that money away. Yeah, so this is not the time for, and I agree with you that you got to do self-care. I actually went to Puerto Rico for about a month and a half, and the first thing I did was I went on a retreat, and then I stayed with my family there, and that was like super great and relaxing and nice, and felt supported, and just all the things. But for the most part, I have put most of my money away. Um, I have uh I have like equity accounts from other firms that I've worked at, and I have that available to me if I need it. I have 401k money set aside, that money is locked in, and so hopefully I don't have to touch that money, but I have it if I need it. Um then I moved I had all that little nest egg, but I wasn't keeping it in a high yield savings account. So then I did that. So that's nicer because making a couple $100s every month just from having my money away. Then I took some of my earnings from my business and I opened the brokerage account, and I've been buying stock slices. So like now I'm investing in some cool things. A lot of tech companies because I love tech, but not
Right.
exclusively. There's different kinds of companies. Um, yeah, so I just have a lot of little things in the works, just and trying, and then the budgeting. So then I've been really good about budgeting. There's more stuff now that I think about it. So then I really cut down my spending as much as I felt that I could. And the next thing that I would have to do at this point is probably move somewhere cheaper. So like, right now I live in Brooklyn and it's not cheap to live here. So that's probably the next thing that I'll do is move to a lower cost place. But but other than that, I lowered my expenses, and I've been really good about that. I'm very good with budgeting and tracking where my money goes. And then I actually took on a part-time job. So last fall, I said, you know what, I'm gonna take a job it was a retail job, and I said I'm gonna take it during like the holiday time because I knew my business was gonna slow down. And I kept the job. I still have it. So I've been working at Athleta. It's like a part of the Gap family of stores, and I've been working there since November. So that's how I add a little bit to my income. And then I've been writing essays for Business Insider. I get paid for that. And, so little side hustles here and there. So just, making it all add up, and taking on different kinds of work too. So I started off doing speaking engagements, and then I'm doing a much bigger variety of offerings. And I kind of adjust as needed. So I'm like, what are you looking for? I'm like, that's okay. I don't do exactly that, but I'm willing to do it. And I'll
Right.
do that too. And then I can make a little extra money that way too. So I have found more ways to make monies, lots of ways to cut back on my costs. And then I just am really good about my debt. I have no debt essentially, pay off all my credit cards on time. And I'm just keeping that nest egg nice, and I'm taking care of it like a little golden egg. So,
Yeah. 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 I love that. Like one of my things, um, and people who know me, I've said this before, right? So, when I think about Social Security, I don't think it's going to be here when I'm reached that baby boomer age. And so I have, a lot of monies in crypto, right? And so for me, my crypto is my, I essentially
that's your
treat
insurance
crypto like it's
policy.
stocks. Exactly. And then I treat regular stocks and ETFs as bonds, right? And so that's really been helpful because sometimes, I'm like, wow, like when I go through those moments where I'm like, wow, this is kind of overwhelming. I'm not getting a job as quick. I'm not getting the interviews. I'll just pull out my phone and look at my bank account and look at my stock portfolio. And I'm like, wow, all my portfolios, I'm up 20 to 30%. Crypto, I'm actually up almost 400%. And
Oh,
so then that brings me back down.